welcome back, my young Padawans, to Plus the Martial Law Thoughts on Part 5 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ooh! Wasn't it an epic blockbuster? I don't know about you guys, but literally throughout the episode, I was like, literally, amount of times my jaw kept dropping. Oh, there's so many good stuff, wasn't it? I think what Part 5 definitely showed is that in the previous part, we definitely needed that breather, sort of gather our thoughts, and just take a deep breath in, condense having the first three, ready for these last two, which already, this one's proved to be what was going to be quite an epic blockbuster. It definitely gave me, Part 5, this definitely gave me that blockbuster film vibes, it was literally just epic from get to start to the very finish. I've got so many questions. Literally, after I watched it the first time, I literally came away with just so many questions. Literally like, oh my god. And I was right about them finding the tracker. I said, if you watched the last episode, I said in Part 5, they're going to spot the tracker. They spot it. More on that a little bit later. Okay, so the big sort of takeaway that came from Part 5 here is that this was kind of a part that sort of played on people's ambitions. First with Reva, and then second with Anakin, or Vader, how you want to refer to him as. It's kind of both in this case here, with that flashback sequence. So let's first with Reva. So, honestly, in the Part 4, we discovered that she actually managed to place a tracker on Lola, and that's how they've been able to track down our brave heroes to Jabin. We are now finally on Jabin. And basically, Reva now gets to be made Grand Inquisitor. So given a little bash. She gets away for the whole episode. It's almost like she's now got the power and respect that she's been craving from the very beginning. And literally, from here on out, it's like no questions asked. She's the Grand Inquisitor. So no one's questioning it. No one's going to try and challenge it. It's just that's the Grand Inquisitor. And so, literally, the moment the Empire arrives on Jabin and and literally puts it into besiege more, like, really. It's just absolutely epic. The way all, the troopers all sort of line up. That is absolutely, literally impressive. And I love how when they literally launch their first attack, it's literally, Reba's just literally being badass. It's just like, ah! They just go, Alright, it's absolutely just brilliant. I think this is pure badass for Reva. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm loving it. It's absolutely brilliant. And so, obviously, after I hear it for the party, so they've got to basically find that way out. But obviously, it's being blocked because the Empire's managed to disable their facilities. So obviously, Leia's the one that decides, well, I'll help. She actually finally, Leia, in all, gets to actually be helpful rather than a hindrance in this part. She finally gets to be helpful. So she goes up the Shah, tries to see if she can disable it. Although she does take quite a bit of time doing it, doesn't she? She pretty much spends almost all the episode literally stuck up in the ventilation shaft trying to work out, right, which one is it again? You definitely say it was a red one, because I can't see any red ones. Anything red? Oh, hi Lola! Why is she now red? Back to her later on. Oh. Now, while most of this episode was literally blockbuster and literally just action paced all the way through, we did get a few nice little moments. First main one to put out is obviously Tala. How she tells Ola about how, but some of the things she had to do while being undercover, like for instance, rounding up all the 4 families. There were 4 sentences, and basically had to watch them all get slaughtered. And so she basically says to everyone, "No, you're right about how there are some things you can't forget, but what Tars does is tries to actually fight to make them better. So good for her. It's like her last nice little moment she gets before." I'm holding that back before we get to that. We get another nice little moment, which I think for me is kind of the standout of the whole episode, which is where, right, to buy the path more time, Kenobi's like, right, tell Reva I want to talk. And so we get this big sort of, I don't know what, it's sort of like ceasefire, where they're both stuck between one side of a wall, talking for each other, to one another. And here's where we get the awful truth. But what's interesting is how Obi-Wan starts to keep piecing it bit by bit by bit by bit. And yet I watch this literally having none the wiser until obviously it all makes sense. And actually what this cleverly does is ties up the first two parts. So part 1 and part 2, which of course were both released on the same day, May 27. The first, because what it reveals is that actually Reva, she actually was a youngling who was actually there in the Jedi Temple on the night of Order 66 being executed. So, wow. First jaw drop right there. Because at this point, I just felt that Reva has been, literally just born and raised, literally loyal to the Empire, but of course has got some form of agenda to herself, which makes her play the way she is, and how different she is to all the other Inquisitors. Never for 1 second did I suspect that Reva could have been on the light side of the Force. Never did at 1 minute did I suspect that. Did not see that coming. So, if we cast our minds back to the very beginning of part 1, we have a little flashback sequence where we're in the Jedi Temple on the night of Order 66 being executed. You see a group of younglings, and they've just watched their Jedi Master. She got slaughtered, and it's like they're like sort of, what do you know? And also we'll go to literally got back to the drum. Then obviously after that you cut to the present day. So that ties that up. The other loose that gets tied up is in part 2. Because remember in part 2, which was the epic sort of bombshell that Reva dropped on Obi-Wan. Like, if you're Padawan Anakin, he's alive! But of course, actually said him by his full name, of course, is Anakin Skywalker. And I suppose we should be thinking, we should have been from that. We should have been thinking ourselves, like Obi-Wan did. How could she have known Vader's real name? Nobody in the Empire really, apart from obviously Emperor Palpatine, would really know that. And yet, and as Obi-Wan eventually works out, she was there. There at the Jedi Temple, saw him do what he did, and wow. So yeah, so it turns out that Reva was there at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant as a youngling on the night of Order 66 got executed, and she basically I spent this entire time working our way up into the ranks of the Empire, into the Inquisitors' ranks, not to work for Vader, but to basically take revenge. Now, in any other TV series, this would be a brilliant plan. Yeah, be a brilliant plan. Yeah, slowly work your way up the ranks, up your enemy, and eventually, once you got close to them, bunk them off. It kind of reminds me, how towards it, in Rise of Skywalker, where the First Order's mole gets to be revealed as Luke, as Hux. And at first you think, well, why is it General Hux? That does not make sense. He's been Lord of the First Order from the get-go. But it turns out the reason why he was the mole is because I don't care if you win. I just want Kylo Ren to lose. That's kind of what we see here with Reva. She doesn't really want Obi-Wan's side to win. She just sort of wants Vader to sort of be defeated. It'd be a brilliant plan if it was any other TV series, but of course, because this is a Star Wars series and it's set before the events of Episode 4, we kind of know it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But oh boy, did they try, even though they knew that we knew that plan was not going to work, they still tried to have a good go at let's just have a little attempt at it, shall we? Let's see if we can do something, make something out of it. We did, and it was quite epic. But at the same time, thinking, oh, it's not going to end well. Oh no! Don't kill Reva! Don't kill Reva! Don't kill Reva! More on that in a moment. Wow. So now, here's my first question. Now then, now we've got the truth. Now we know that Reva actually wasn't born evil. She just turned herself evil. The first question that I've got here now, and this is something I'm going to be asking myself well after the finale. Was Reva a villain after all, or was she just flawed? Because at this point, I've been singing Reva's praises, loving her, thought she's a really, really great villain who could even possibly even rival Vader and Palpatine himself. But now we've got that revelation of her origins, her backstory. I'm now wondering, well, is her character now just flawed? Because and she's not really the villain. She's not really evil. She's just sort of flawed. And if you maybe gave her a charge, she could maybe get redeemed. Because redemption could be on the cards, you know. Because obviously we've got no idea what's going to happen in the finale, but you never know. End of part 6, that could be what's on the card. She gets redeemed. She has one last go. Because clearly by how this episode ends, Reva's going to try and do something in the finale, but maybe by the end of it, the redemption could be on the cards. You never know. But I'm now questioning myself, thinking, is Reva actually a true villain, or was she just flawed? That's a question that's going to be posing me for a very, very long time to come, even after the finale. But those were two big sort of emotional moments in the episode. Tala's one, and obviously the ceasefire between Kenobi and Reva. There were two big emotional moments which I really, really loved. And I feel we could have had more of those. But no, the action picks up, because eventually Reva's had enough, and literally just, she's her way into the facilities, and little hell breaks loose. It's back to blockbuster style. And of course, as we all know, any good blockbuster film, there has to be a sacrifice. Bye, Tala. Now, I did not see this coming. Okay. Unlike Lord Vader, I did not see any event in this part coming. But I kind of felt after her cover in part 4 got blown, I kind of thought, right, Tala's on borrowed time. She's on. I mean, I've loved Tala. I've loved her. Don't get me wrong. Loved her, but I just felt after her cover got blown, I just felt, well, she's now on borrowed time. She's gonna be on borrowed time here. And yes, Tala does end up dead. Because there had to be casualties on both sides here. You kept seeing all these troopers being shot down. I'm like, I'm sorry. Where are the casualties on the path side? So, sorry Tala, but you sadly had to go. But she did it to save the others. She didn't die for nothing. But oh, poor Tala. But she had to go. She literally, after the events of part 4, literally, for me, she was just literally on borrowed time. And it was only going to be a matter of, if not this part, it would have been finale. So she was always on borrowed time. So the moment her cover got blown, that's gonna be it. But oh, what a way to go! Right, so now we get to the interesting part. And I'm going to bring that in, because I've not mentioned it yet. I've not mentioned the flashback yet, but I'm going to bring that in now. Because this is now where the rest of the episode sort of focus. Throughout the whole episode, we keep having this flashback to when Kenobi is training Anakin in lightsaber combat. And you can see straight away how Anakin's aggression and what he's going to eventually become is on display. So Obi-Wan can see that way before he even gets the events of possibly maybe even the Attack of the Clones. Because the problem I have with Anakin, the prequel trilogy, is, particularly in episodes 2 and 3, is it's too obvious. They made it too obvious that he's going to do what he does, and yet you're supposed to try to feel for him at the same time. But I remember watching the prequel trilogy thinking, oh, for goodness sake, Anakin, get over yourself, mate. Stop being attention-seeking. Particularly Attack of the Clones was like, oh, Obi-Wan's holding me back and all that. No, you're holding yourself back, Anakin. It's all on you. You're the one holding yourself back here with your ambition, with your aggression. You're the one. Just, yeah, so, yeah. So there you go. That's a problem I've got with the prequel trilogy. I mean, I have mentioned so far when we've been doing episodes on this series, I have not hold my hands on how to say I've loved the prequels, but I can find something I hate about it, and that is basically Anakin's portrayal. Because they just make it too obvious he's gonna basically turn to the dark. It should have been, in episode 2 at least, it should have been subtle. Then episode 3 you may start showing it bit by bit, but it was just for the yeah. And even in this flashback you see, it's quite, he sort of focuses on Anakin's tone, and for it's very obvious. I mean, we all could have seen it coming, but we didn't act on it. Yeah, and so that is basically becomes a centerpiece for this, what happens in the present day, and how everyone uses what he had in that encounter to basically get out of the situation in hand. Because he allowed himself to get captured by the Empire, and Reva's like being all triumphant, being, oh, he's on his way. You're gonna be dead soon. But Obi-Wan is like, oh, yeah, let me pull this out of the hat for you, love, eh? You're not bringing him to me, I'm bringing him to you. And it's like, yeah. I can see what's going on here, because everyone's gonna use what he's now learned to try and push Reva into basically doing something stupid, which is to basically try and take on Lord Vader. Now, there's a different TV series, it would have worked, because it's a Star Wars series, we all know it's not going to work, but do have a go! Have a go, Reva! Sure, it's almost like Obi-Wan Kenobi's like giving you your one opportunity to make your mark. Have a go! See how far you get! Didn't do Yoda any harm when we mentioned the Sith when he tried to go Emperor Palpatine, even though we kind of knew Palpatine was going to make it to episode 6. But have a go! You never know, you might get a scratch off him, you never know. Well, let's have a go! It's almost like he's pushing her, isn't it? Pushing her to maybe do it. And of course, the moment when Vader arrives, Obi-Wan's got away. Because obviously, they half the end do manage to get away when Leia manages to open the doors after taking out the tracker on Lola. Now, I did say that last week. I thought, but at some point in this episode, they're gonna get the tracker. They're gonna find the tracker. They found the tracker, and it was just ooh, welcome back, Lola. I just thought that was too easy. That was too easy. Particularly since I still got no idea how Reva managed to put the tracker on Lola in the first place. I just thought that was just too easy for Leia to take it on. There should have been more of a struggle. It really should have. I thought that was just too easy. That was just too easy. Either way, their path escapes with Obi-Wan on board. Harry's ended up dropping something, or rather Harder ended up dropping something, which is going to be very critical to setting up the finale. But before we get to that, so the pub have got away. They've got away, although their hyperdrive is now damaged because Beta did try to use the Force to bring the ship down. I thought, oh, that's impressive! But thought, no. I mean, Lord Vader, you may have all these special skills there, but you may be trained in how to use the Force, but let me give you a little lesson in life, love. Ships are bigger than you! You will lose every time! It's like that, like here, where we talk about cars trying to get in front of buses. Nope, it ain't gonna work. The bus is bigger than you. Ain't gonna happen. Right. Now we get to the attempt. Because, oh my god. Where Reva tries to do it. And for the rest of this episode, I'm literally like this. Cause like, it's literally heart in mouth for me. Because I'm like, don't you dare. Don't kill Reva. Don't kill Reva. Please don't kill Reva. And I remember when she was walking, I was like, oh no, you silly girl, don't do it! But of course she does do it. He spots it straight away. And it makes him have a nice little jewel. It was quite an epic. Well, they always are, aren't they, in Star Wars? They always are, whenever you have a lightsaber duel. They are always very epic. I mean, you can't, it's not a Star Wars series or a Star Wars film until you have a lightsaber duel. But it was epic. It really was epic. And you never know. There's a different time period. It could have maybe gone differently. But I was watching it. I was literally like hyped because I was like, because I know Vader's gonna come away unscathed. But I'm like, what's gonna happen to Reva? Don't you dare! And then eventually, unfortunately, Vader does overpower our brave bird sister, and basically gets lightsaber to the chest. So initially, what she did to the Grand Inquisitor in Part 2 happened to work. But lo and behold, because literally the moment she goes down, Vader's like, did you really think I didn't see this coming? It's like, wow. And that's not the only big surprise, because lo and behold, guess who then walks in? It's not even the Grand Inquisitor! I was like this. Because I thought he was dead. Right, let's clear it up. Because I generally, at the end of Part 2, thought, well, he's dead. He got lightsabers to the chest. Reva literally just went, lightsabers to the chest. He's dead. Because obviously I did hear about the whole backlash about, oh, you're breaking did read all these stories about that. But of course, I've not seen whatever it is the Grand Inquisitor is in. Because I've not watched many, I haven't actually watched any other Star Wars series. This is kind of my first Star Wars series I've watched. I am looking to start the animated Clone Wars series. I'm looking to start into that. I've watched the pilot, just need to get started on the series. But no, I've not seen any other Star Wars series. This is kind of like my first Star Wars series that I've watched fully. I've seen all the films, not just but not anything. So I don't know what it is the Grand Inquisitor is supposed to be. All I know is that technically he shouldn't really be dead. And here we go. So all you people who have spent the last, how many weeks it's been, 3, 4 weeks going, he should not be dead, you've ruined it, you've broken the canon, Well, this is what happens when you grow too impatient and don't give the writers a chance. Alright? What I think what we've seen here is the effects of binge watching. This is why I don't do binge watching. I'm very glad that Disney Plus is actually so far the only streaming service that I'm aware of that doesn't do the binge watching. You know, it likes to release new series one episode a week, which is brilliant. So it's like piece of old school telly, still alive and kicking. Okay, because that's how I had to do a telly as a kid, and I got through with it. So you guys should be able to do it too. But there you go. So I thought, well, here we go. That's literally one kick in the backside to all the whinging wires about whether the Grand Quest was done or not. Because they did have us convinced, particularly, and I did thought, he's dead. But the fact I'm not aware of what role he's supposed to play after this, I just thought, well, he's dead. So that for me was like, oh. And so the next big question is, how's he still alive? How's he still alive? And another big question is, how do you kill someone on the dark side with a lightsaber? Because it's not working! You know? We've had the Grand Inquisitor, saber to the chest. We had Reva, now saber to the chest. Neither one of them's dead. You know? So it's like, how are we supposed to kill someone on the dark side? How are we supposed to do it? Because if the lightsaber to the chest is not working, how do they do it? Because Qui-Gon, he got lightsabers to the chest by Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace, and he didn't get back up, did he? No, he literally had to die and pull Obi-Wan's arms. He didn't get back up. He's force sensitive. Why is it with these people on the dark side? They just won't get bonked off when they get lightsabers to the chest. And then basically, what it is they've all been aware of obviously who Reva is, what she was planning, and it's basically used that to their advantage. Just let it play out. This is a very dangerous game to play here. Well, both Vader and Reva have been playing dangerous games up here. Because what if Reva had succeeded? She could have, but of course was never going to. But what she could have, what she had, well, then we really would have had a Hail Mary. No, but it was a dangerous game to play, but in the end, it worked for Vader, and so basically the Grand Inquisitor's back, and they basically just both leave her for dead. I'm like thinking, oh, please tell me she's not dead, please tell me she's not dead, please tell me she's not dead! Thankfully, she's not dead, but she is struggling, because like I said last week, Reba's here for the long haul, she's here for all six, so... But, ooh. Right, let's get to the ending now. So the Path got away on their ship, but obviously the hyperdrive's damaged, and they know the Empire's vastly on their tail. Kenobi senses that something's wrong. Now, he doesn't say what it is, but I think he now knows, that Reva now knows, that about Luke. Oh, this gets confusing now, because we know that Leia and Luke are Anakin's children, and we know that Obi-Wan knows this because obviously he was there for the birth. And we know that obviously Sergio Organa knows about this too, because obviously he's been the adopted father to Leia. And in his little message that he gave to Kirby, you say, right, if I don't hear from you soon, I'm going to go to Tatooine and help Owen with Luke. Doesn't say him by name, but just says the boy. And what it says in the message is, if he's discovered the children, I need to go to Tatooine and help with Owen. So, here's now what we're all wondering. Does Reva know that Luke and Leia are Vader's kids? Or is she or is she now aware that actually there's a boy on Tatooine who could actually be more valuable than he is? Because it was a brilliant way to end the episode, but it has left us with so many questions. Like, does she properly know? Does she now know that there are two children of Anakin Skywalker, who is technically now Darth Vader, enemy of the of the franchise. So that's what I'm wondering. Here's what I think. I think she knows that there is a boy on Tatooine who could be more important than everyone thinks. Do I think she properly knows? I got no idea. Because she kidnapped Layla because she discovered that Organa and Kenobi fought along each other side by side in the Clone Wars. That's how she kidnapped Layla. And why she kidnapped Layla it got nothing to do with, oh, she's the daughter of my master. Well, ex-master now. I don't think that. Oh my god, but does she not? Does she not? That's the big question we need to answer next week. Does she not? Does she know? Does she know? Does she know? Does she not? Does she not know? We've only had a sunflower. She does know! She does not know. Oh, yeah. But I think Kenobi's now realised that Reva knows Luke exists. I don't think she knows his importance yet. She just knows that he exists and is some way connected in all of this. What I am sure of, what it does do, is it sets up the stage for Tatooine being where we're going to go for the finale. It's all going to kick off, we're going to come to the crescendo on Tatooine. But, as I am aware, you're going to need to be very, very careful because of the continuity. The continuity pirates, shall we say that? You must stick to the canon! And their wrath has already been on display once this series. We don't need to get again, because obviously this could be it. But yeah. But all in all, what an epic episode. I generally felt we were going to ramp up a gear after part 4 being a bit of a breather, but definitely this episode reassured that we needed it on the last one. Otherwise, there's going to be so much action to take in. But so many massive revelations. I'm left with just so many questions. I literally just don't know where to start. But it's been a lot of them to involve Reva. But so it's been an epic blockbuster. I just like, okay, you've set up what's going to be a very, very, very interesting finale. Because what we know going into the finale is we know that it kind of has to come to an end here. Because the idea is this is basically to set up the events into episode 4. So we kind of in the finale, there's got to be kind of an ending here to this story. Because I think that's how it was devised. It's like it's a beginning, middle, end. Well, here we are now at the end. And kind of all the major players, so Obi-Wan, Leia, let's even bring Luke into it, because he's going to get brought into it next week, whether he likes it or not. Him too, Vader, Central Guard, all of them need to be put in their respective positions, start positions if you like, going in to episode 4. But of course, there is the question of Reva. What do we do with Reva? Well, here's what I hope. I hope she survives. So, I really do. I'm sorry. I really hope that somehow she survives. But of course, that would bring up the question of, where does she go, and how does she fit in with the timeline? That is a question in itself. But just because she was created this series doesn't mean she doesn't have she can't still survive. Oh god, I know the Tala's going to say about Tala now. But hey, that doesn't mean just because she was created this story doesn't mean she has to get bunked off. She can still kind of have some sort of place in the whole timeline. It's just you need to explain what it is, and where she went afterwards. She could do. I mean, after all, I said it last week, I'll say it again. I mean, I'm hoping she gets her own series. So you can maybe do it like that. And that explains what happens. Or, because we've kind of got, or, no. Oh, no, can't do that now, because I said it last week, it's not time to place to discuss that. It's not really time to that. But yeah. So, kind of what we need to see in the finale next week is we kind of need to see all the major players we know that make it to episode 4. They need to be put on their respective paths leading into episode 4. But my little secret hope for the finale is somehow, I don't care how, Reva survives. I do not want to see Reva get bunked off. Alright? Because she's gonna try something. She's kind of in that position now where she's kind of where a lot of villains do get put in any film and TV series, is that she's at the nothing left to lose stage. She's not gonna go and be on the light side. She's not gonna go back to the Empire. She's now on her own, and she basically now is rogue. So she's at this nothing left to lose stage. But I'm hoping, so we know she's gonna do something. Just don't know what that something is. But I'm hoping by the end of it, she does not get bunked off. Otherwise, that's a waste of the character. Because I really have loved her, and I'd love her to have her own series. What? I don't know. I think I might give a suggestion there. You go and explore what happens to her after this series, or we can go back to where she was in the Libby before the series began. But yeah. So that's my tiny little hope. Will I get it? Probably not, because the continuity nerds are probably going to win the day here, aren't they? They're going to win the day. So, unfortunately for me, that might mean I've got to start preparing a eulogy for Reva. I will do it. Hopefully not. I hope I won't need to, but if needs must, I will do it. So you can't go into the finale. We kind of know the continuity nerds who are obsessed with it. It was like, you must stick your canon. They're kind of gonna win the day here. So basically, by the end of it, we need to see all the major players get set up. But I do have tiny hope that Reva somehow manages to survive. And that can set up something. Come on! She's earned it! Oh. Oh, but yeah, just an epic episode, which literally at times had my jaw dropped and literally had my heart in my mouth. But that was made towards the big, when Reva was going to take on Vader. I was like, oh no. Because you knew it wasn't going to end well, but I was like, literally on my edge of my seat going, look, literally be like, please don't kill Reva, please don't kill Reva, please don't kill Reva! And she's alive. And kicking for now. Vader, did you learn nothing for when you were in that position in Revenge of the Sith? No? Because Obi-Wan could have faced you in Revenge of the Sith when he had the chance and didn't. And here we are. You've had an opportunity to end Reva there. But you didn't. Hopefully that's going to come back to haunt you. Oh, we know it won't. But we could live in that. Yeah. Such an epic blockbuster. Ready to set us up for what's going to be, hopefully, a very epic finale. Which I'm not ready for. I don't want it to end. But it's got to. Just as today's episode must now end. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've loved it, do click the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed yet, I reckon you click the subscribe button. And that way you will never miss a single one when you call the contract in King Barrister plus the mouse. Well, until the next time, my fellow Padawans, may the force be with you.